Hello, I'm Rick Stivers with YoungMartin'sReels. Today's project is going to be this Shimano R4000, and this is a reel that I had worked on before, and I got a email or a text from Santiago. I think his name is Santiago. Said that he had taken his drag assembly apart on his reel and didn't know how to put it back together, and I did not cover that in my video. So today's video is just to go back and take care of that part. I'm going to show the rest of this all in high speed, so you'll see it for about 30 seconds of me taking this thing all apart, and then we're going to get into the drag and we'll slow that down. We'll take it apart and put it back together so you can see how to do it. Okay, before we get into that, I want to talk about this just in case there's somebody local to the area. For San Antonio, the 2023 San Antonio Lure and Tackle Show is coming. It's going to be Thursday, September the 21st through Saturday, the September the 23rd. And it's going to be at the Fairfield Inn and Suites. And the second part of it is going to be over at the VFW post over on FM 78. If you have any questions on that, you can contact Logan Stewart at 210-776-6181 for more information. He'd be more than happy. He was a really nice guy. I talked to him. I'm going to try to go in and get an opportunity to meet with some of the collectors and see if I can get them to talk about their fishing reels, their unique fishing reels, the way that I got Chris to talk about his reels collection. I'm going to be attending during that time frame and see what we can come up with on that. But in the meantime, let's get started on this. All right, so let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to tighten down this drag all the way. Make sure it's tight as far as it'll go. With that done, we can unscrew the spool off. Okay, and then we're going to take the handle off. Okay, at this point, there's no need to take out the main gear, the crosswind block, and the crosswind gear. You can take them out, but there's no need for it for what we're doing here. We're rebuilding this drag stack. So we're going to leave those in, and we're going to remove this screw. With the screw removed, unscrew the knob. Now, with the knob removed, we can take this clip out. And what I have found is the clip tends to be easier to take out if you use two screwdrivers, one to hold out on it from the inside, and then the other one to catch it on the outside. And then you can just pop the clip off and it comes out. With that done, we can now slide this cup out. Now the cup has a spring and a washer in it. The washer goes inside the cup with the spring on top of it. And now I'm going to slide the axle shaft back in for just a minute. And we're going to use it to help push the drag stack out. Like so. Okay. There's the drag stack. Okay, now on the front, there is a drag washer, which it's kind of glued in place usually. You don't need to take it off unless it's damaged. Okay, now off the back of this, we're going to take off an eared washer. It's got the two little ears, one on each side of it there. We've got drag washer. We've got a keyed washer. Now this one is keyed to the shaft. See how the flats on it are lined up? Now that one will not rotate on the shaft. Okay, and on the inside of it, it's going to be another drag washer, like so. Then we've got another eared washer. And then inside of that, it's going to be another drag washer. And there is your stack up, Santiago. Okay, that's the parts that go back into this. So, now, what are we going to have to do to put them back in? Well, first off, let me take this axle shaft back out. Okay, we're going to slide it out, set it over to the side. And I want you to look inside here. See these two slots? There's one on each side. Okay. In those slots are what these ears are going to fit into. All right. So let's now go about rebuilding the stack. We've got our piece. The gear teeth are facing forward. You notice on the back side of it, it's got the gears don't come all the way through. It's got a flat. All right. On top of that, now we're going to add the drag washer. Now, you can go ahead. These have just been not too long ago greased, I think, but let's go ahead and grease them. We'll put in the first eared washer, followed up by a drag washer. We'll go ahead and put a little grease on that as well. Followed up by the keyed washer, followed up by another drag washer, followed up by the eared washer. Okay, notice that the ears are pointing backwards, like so, and they're lined up with each other. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take this axle shaft and we're going to slide it in from the back side like that. So we've got a stack up. Okay, and then we're going to take this stack up and put it back inside with those little ears lined up on the flats or in the slots. You may need a little bit of help with a screwdriver or something, getting it to go flat down in there and stay. All right, so make sure that they're in the slots, and then you can gently remove the axle shaft back out. And it should look like that down inside there. With that done, we can now take this assembly. Remember, you got the spring with the washer inside the cup. And if this is looking a little bit rusty, go ahead and grease it. It should be well lubricated to keep it from rusting. Okay, slide that inside the case. And now we're going to put this clip back on. And this is real simple. It might look a little bit complicated, but it's not. Okay, you notice that you've got a groove that goes around this end, but it doesn't go all the way around. It stops right there. And so you've got this blank side over here with no groove. So you go to the first part where you see the groove and there's a slot. You put that hook into that slot, and then just, here's all you got to do. With that in the slot, just start pushing and it snaps that clip right back in. All right. That now holds this all together so it can't fall out. Then you take your knob, screw your knob back on. Okay. Put your screw back in your knob. And then loosen your drag all the way up, like so, to make sure that it will turn freely when we put the axle shaft back in. Okay, Santiago, there you go. There's how to put your drag system back together in the Shimano FX4000 reel. And all right, now once you've when you go to tighten this back down, tighten your drag all the way down back here. Then you can tighten your spool down, and then you can loosen your drag back up. And there you go. It was a special request for, I believe his name is Santiago, and he requested to know how to do those drags, and there it is. I've taken care of that. I was out of town when he requested it. I was lucky enough to still have this reel on my boat and was able to go ahead and take it apart to show him how it's done. Interestingly enough, I was given this reel this week, which is basically the same reel. It's a Shimano 9 4000R. This one, of course, is the FX4000, and I could not even begin to tell you what the differences between the two are, but this one does work. It was missing the handle when I got it, and it had a busted drag knob back here. So I purchased a drag knob just a few minutes ago off of eBay, and it's supposed to be here by next week. And then I'm going to take this reel apart and service it and see. Now, how did this tighten? How did this get broken? Somebody over tightened this drag knob. They tightened. See how you've got this gap right here? Okay, this is fairly tight, and it's pretty tight already. If you keep cranking this down, what it can do is exactly what happened right here. It can snap the end out of the drag knob. And then once that's happened, there's no drag whatsoever, because it's the end of the knob that puts the pressure on that drag stack. So don't get carried away with tightening them down, folks, because you can damage them. And I got lucky and found a handle that would fit this, a screw to go in the end of it, and I found a knob for it. So hopefully I'll have this one up and running and back on my boat. Here, it's also missing a screw, 2 screws, so I think I've got those also. And it's a nice little reel. It definitely needs to be serviced and tightened down more. When this plate comes over, it wants to kind of grumble, but that's to be expected when you don't have a good mesh on the gears. So hopefully you liked the video. If you did, please hit the like button. If you didn't like it, please hit the dislike button. Tell me maybe what it is about the video that you didn't like. And for now, that's Young Martin's Reels with the Shimano 9 FX4000, again, revisited. And I guess I probably should have gone into the bail, because I also didn't describe how to do the bail on this. But maybe if I do this other one, I'll do the bail on it, and you can see, because it all looks identical. I don't know what the difference is, if there is any. So there you have it. For now, that's Rick Stivers with Young Martin's Reels, signing out.